Thank you everyone for joining us today. I'd like to introduce President Natan Obed.
Nakumik. Tunngavik, everyone. Thank you for coming on such short notice here to our Inuit Tapiriit Kanatami offices on such an important day. Before we get started, I first wanted to thank Bernice Clark for lighting the Kivalliq and keeping the Kivalliq going during our announcement here today. Also, I wanted to begin by acknowledging the heartbreaking events in Tumbler Ridge, BC, and also in Kitigan-Zibi yesterday. Our thoughts are with those communities and the families of the victims. Also within our communities, I wanted to recognize the family of Alexander Broughton, a teacher who died yesterday in Arviat. And with so many Arviat and Nunavut in the room, I'd also like to make a special reference to Savikataaq, the daughter of Joe and Lillian, who's dearly missed. It's so important for us to recognize tragedy and to hold space in our hearts for it. But it's also important for us to come together as a community in these times and to help create the foundation for stronger communities moving forward. And today is one of those days that is both. The Governor General, Her Excellency Mary Simon, was supposed to host this event today in Rideau Hall. But because of the tragedies that have happened, especially in British Columbia, there was a change of plans. She did want to convey to everyone here how fortunate we are to have achieved this milestone and how much she supports the creation of the Inuit Nunangat University and is excited to celebrate when the time comes as we move forward down the road with our initiative. I'd like to recognize Nunavut Tunngavik President Paul Irngaut, Kivalliq Inuit Association President Tattuinee, the Kikitani Inuit Association Vice President Levi Barnabas, the Arviat Mayor Joseph Savikataaq Jr., John Main, the Premier of Nunavut, Gwen Nutzik, the President of the National Inuit Youth Council, Lori Idlaut, who's the Member of Parliament for Nunavut, Senators Nancy Karatak-Lindell and Judy White, I believe is here. Thank you so much for being here. We also have special guests, students and instructors from Nunavut Siviniksavuut, the post-secondary institution located here in Ottawa, but from primarily Nunavut, who are here with us today. Also, our partners from the MasterCard Foundation. I know I saw Jennifer Brennan. Agnico Eagle is here in the room. Gabriel Antoine Cote is representing them, and the McConnell Foundation, and also the Rideau Hall Foundation. It takes a lot of partners to get to this stage where we have worked through a number of different considerations for the creation of our Inuit Nunangat University. And today we're here to celebrate the decision of the location of the main campus. Our university, like any others that have been founded in this country and globally, is the expression of a community. We have decided that this university is going to be an expression of Inuit society and the Inuit community. We have had over the last decades partnerships with southern-based universities. We have been able to create degree granting programs within our jurisdictions that have allowed Inuit to go to university to become lawyers, teachers, nurses, and other professions. We are appreciative of all of the support that we've received from existing four-year universities across this country. And we now are celebrating the creation of something that from the ground up we have created. For sure, we will have partners in the academic community and academic institutions moving forward. But first and foremost, we are creating this ourselves. And it is an incredible show of self-determination and also of partnership. The determination of the main campus is one of the biggest steps within the creation of the university. It required careful consideration of what it means for our community to host the main campus. One, a commitment that will shape the community's future. Our 51 communities are largely small. Our largest, I believe, is at about 8,000. Many of our communities are under 1,000. A university is going to be a central consideration of what it is to live in a particular Inuit Nunangat community. It's also a shared responsibility. It is a national university, but we will also have to share that responsibility with the community and within the jurisdiction in which it resides. We also wanted to ensure that there was support from all of our 4 Inuit Nunangat regions for the location of the university. That this isn't something that is just going to benefit one university or one of our Inuit jurisdictions. That from across Inuit Nunangat and across our 4 jurisdictions, there will be unanimity and support for this initiative. We took almost a year of deliberation to come up with this particular decision. There was a process that allowed for any Inuit community to express their interest in hosting the main campus. From that initial process, we received expressions of interest. We narrowed that down to, I believe, 9 communities that were considered on the short list. And then we received proposals from each one of them. We had an adjudication process that was largely independent. Their findings were brought forward to the Inuit Tapiriit Kanatami Board of Directors for ITK's deliberation and the decision. The decision was never about just choosing one community over another. The decision was to try to find the best possible fit for the university that we were trying to create and the interest and the particular attributes that a community had that they were willing to share with us. This decision was supported by all Inuit treaty organizations, underscoring unity across all regions. After careful consideration, Inuit leadership has unanimously determined that the main campus of the Inuit Nunangat University will be located in Arviat, Nunavut. Arviat is an exceptional location for this university, not only from their history of considering education from the Department of Education for the Government of Nunavut, but also the many citizens who have spent their lives thinking about education pedagogy for Inuit. I think of Joe Kanatami, and I think of others that have been leaders within the consideration of how to meld Inuit knowledge and formal education. Their leadership has led to this moment where Arviat thinks critically about education and thinks critically also about Inuit society and the future of the way that we implement our land claim agreements and the way that we celebrate our culture. The university will not only be located in Arviat. We will be undertaking a secondary round of consideration for knowledge centers that we hope will be in every single Inuit Nunangat region and perhaps even others in the jurisdiction of Nunavut. And we will make those announcements as we come to an agreement on where those knowledge centers will be. This will require multi-jurisdictional legislation to ensure that the enabling of the university is able to be across from Nunatsiavut, Tunngavik, Nunavut, and the Inuvialuit regions. we have heard so much from our Inuit communities about their excitement for this day. 2030 may seem like a long time from now, but it really isn't in the planning and also then the construction of a university, the hiring of teachers, the recruitment of students, and then the creation of the university program. But for the first time in our modern history, we are now going to be being able to say that our children may go to a university within our homeland. We still have a lot of work to do, from completing the governance of the university that will lead the university into its final stages of completion, to fundraising, to ensure that we have the money not only to build the campus, but also to operate and maintain the facilities moving forward into the future. Recruitment of faculty and staff that will require a particular type of educator for a particular type of university. We also will need to build upon today in our partnerships with communities and with regions to ensure that all of the hurdles that we know are before us to actually getting to that opening day on 2030 are going to be met through partnership and through careful consideration. We also know that the Government of Canada will play an instrumental role in the time from today moving forward to 2030. Unfortunately, we were unable to have members of Parliament and members of Cabinet here today, although many wish that they could be here. We have expectations of the government for funding, but also for enabling federal legislation of the university. We are in ongoing conversations with the Prime Minister and with the relevant departments on that issue, those issues. In this time where sovereignty and defense are critical for Canada, the people of Inuit Nunangat, the Inuit of Inuit Nunangat, should be carefully considered in Canada's overarching approach. Military spending and defense spending and building infrastructure that is for Canada's considerations is one aspect of what we all need to do together. The other, and just as critical aspect, is to build sustainability within our society, to bring Inuit Nunangat into Canada, to be proud of our regions and all of the things that we can offer to this country. And that starts with investment, and it starts with a recalibration of why we think of Canada the way that we do. A university in Inuit Nunangat is one of those essential pieces of bringing our homelands into Canada in more than just a place on a map. We have for too long thought of the Arctic as a frontier, as something that is wild and untamed and somehow impossible to provide government services, to provide respect for Indigenous peoples' rights. And this is one of these steps in changing that. So I can't tell you how thrilled I am to be here today with all of you speaking about something now that is much more real than it even was yesterday. I would not be in the role that I am in without university. And I'm sure there are many people in this room that would say the very same thing about where they are in their careers. That is not something that many Inuit have been able to achieve. Breaking down this barrier, giving Inuit more opportunities to achieve whatever it is that they want to do in their lives has everything to do with why we are pursuing this so fervently. With that, I'd like to pass the floor over to Paul Irngaut, the president of Nunavut Tunngavik Incorporated.
Arenay, arenay lamagano nga tamang nga kasi malakuwen at yak ni tabalik kasi ama tekwa ulumi tusakayod kanina may katibot ismagibabot aksoktun pilak tumigtakoy ang ayokal takoy ismagitapon amalakuwen na may tiyak tabanis ikum magtuenyo gabit dan elisaksi tingbat inunit tinig aksaro pigibatigin. I just want to say that I'm very honored to be here with you. As I said, and Natan said in his opening comments, we are thinking of the families that were affected today in BC. We think of the parents, and being a parent, that really touches you in the heart. And I'd like to thank Bernice Kunu for lighting the Kivalliq. It really shows that we are we have a culture, Inuit culture, and that's part of our culture and the things we do. It shows that our culture is strong and alive. To President Natan, Obed, your vision, perseverance, and unwavering commitment to this university, transforming an idea to a tangible plan to educate, inspire, and empower generations of Inuit. The Inuit Nunangat University will stand as a living testament to your belief in the power of knowledge. Its impact will shape minds, communities, our country, and the future for decades. Mayor Joe Savikataaq Jr., through your dedication to Inuit language, Inuit culture, education, and community development, you help unite voices around a shared belief in the transformative powers of post-secondary learning. Tunngavik, thank you. Also to the members of NTI board, Kunuk Tattuinee, Dubai Barnabas, I extend my gratitude to you for your ambitious vision for education in Nunavut, your commitment to expanding access, honoring Inuit traditional knowledge, building pathways for meaningful work will improve lives for generations. Tunngavik, thank you. To Premier John Main, Tunngavik, Nalaga. Thank you for your commitment and support for Inuit education in Nunavut and your eagerness to join the planning tables. For all of those who have spent countless hours working towards making Inuit Nunangat University a reality, Tunngavik, thank you. This announcement is the result of collaboration and partnership, a collective effort grounded on respect and a shared vision. Friends, colleagues, today is a proud day, a meaningful day for Inuit Nunangat, and for Nunavut, and indeed for Canada. Nunavut Tunngavik is delighted to join our partners and Inuit leaders on the announcement that the main campus for the Inuit Nunangat University will be located in Arviat, Nunavut. Tunngavik. With the NTI board members, I am honored to announce $50 million investment towards the construction of the Inuit Nunangat University main campus. This is in addition to last year's pledge of $2 million. The university will also be one of the institutions benefiting from a base figures of $50 million for student housing and $35 million for programming. This investment reflects our responsibility under the Nunavut Agreement to advance the social, cultural, economic well-being of Inuit, our commitment to the Inuit Nunangat University. In March 2025, NTI and the Government of Canada and Nunavut signed the landmark $1.5 billion contract to implement the Nunavut Agreement, which included more than $600 million for Inuit training. Our investment today into Inuit Nunangat University is being funded as part of the commitment to pre-employment training. NTI's contribution to trilateral approach to pre-employment training is steadfast. Post-secondary education is one of the strongest paths towards Inuit self-determination, strong governance, and thriving communities. Tan Arviat, Nuna, Aksuarok Upinlangmat, Inuktiyak Paksanilo, Sangityak Silo, Ilakosisinig, Taman Upinatyamat, Inukai Maito Kangaratok Tolduning, Inuipakosingit, Amar Ismaringit, Tamakwa Tigmetyak Samagasunulusi, Siwurak Tisimagasunulusi, Tamatumunga, Krinamitak Patigin. Arviat is a place where Inuktitut and culture are strong, deeply rooted in Inuit Kauimaitukangit, Inuit values and principles. It is a community with strong history of leadership in curriculum development, rooted in Inuit knowledge. The collective decision of the ITK Board of Directors to host the main campus in Arviat recognizes these strengths. Inuit students, Inuit Nunangat University will be a place where you can learn while staying connected to your community, language, and culture. It will be a place of that nurtures confidence, pride, and leadership, and ensures that you are supported in ways that reflect Inuit ways of knowing and being. By grounding post-secondary education in communities, this institution will help unlock potential and strengthen Inuit identity for generations. It is a true honor and privilege for Inuit Nunavut that we will carry the responsibility of nurturing this institution of higher learning. We will walk this path together with the time, care, and continued partnership needed to succeed. Today, we celebrate the future of Inuit-led education in Inuit Nunangat. We celebrate with the community of Arviat and Nunavut as a whole. We celebrate with all Canadians for the preservation of Arctic knowledge, language, and culture. Kuyanamig, Manda.
Thank you. I would now like to invite Kivalliq Inuit Association President Kunu Tattuinee.
Kuyanami Matna. Kuyanami Bernice. I was going to say something cool, like if now you could make soap into oil, like the Kuliq. But Kuyanami Laki Matna Larik. Kuyanami Larik Tublumi. tamani tu luaqapta, tamani katauyu luaqamalu. Inung nutua taman na tukanga lang ima Inuit Nunangat ilina kaya kumaktang natin lugit. Kivalliq mi tutuang na tukanga lang ima Inuit Nunangat ninga tulimano tukanga yumamot. Ilita kayo malugo Mary Simon tamani ngitu galak upigi yumalugo tamani ako ni ikayok si mang mauwaptin ni nutakaw tilunga ikaw magigak ko Mary Simon kanya sinang mulaw si mang mapilaring masuliw blumimot nukaso itong ma Mary ako ni makayalo inong ni ikayok si mang magpivalak titsi si mang mat ukaw siptin nilo peko siptin nilo sibunik sa mitaw to inaklo ni tana sibuliok tiyo gabitamani Governor General mo tilutit upigi yung mabagitamani na ayaw kalawak tilutit ipigna katigiwa bulutek kwa akvang katit na linatit siya ting matanutakat na naglin na kuni ang akvang miut naat ang BC mitek kwa linawing mulaw tutamak kwa kaumakatang na pabutuk siya ko. Just wanted to again in English my second language, so deeply honored to be here for this very historic event. Not only just for the Inuit across, but it's for the Inuit, those living in the Inuit Nunangat. And very especially proud that it's in the Kivalliq region where we reside. I want to begin by offering my gratitude to Her Excellency. She couldn't be here right now, Governor General Mayor Simon. For your lifelong commitment to Inuit education and the strength of your language, your culture, and the future, and your leadership continues to inspire us. As I was saying in Inuktitut, she was there in rank and back when I was just a young lad. I'm still only 29, but I also want to recognize where credit is due, where Natan, Obed, and the Inuit Tapiriit Kanatami. I want to thank Obed for his inspiring words. I was just going to say, I think he stole all my words, but and Paul, but we're very thankful that this was able to happen, and it just so happened to be Nunavut, and we're very proud to say that, and very special big thank you to ITK, Nunavut Tunngavik Incorporated Board, Irngaut, and the mayor for Arviat, Savikataaq Jr., so happens to be in my Nukongok. Look that up on the Inuit app. Oh, just kidding. And I want to recognize also our leadership, our Premier of Nunavut, John Main, Tamanito here, our Senator for Nunavut, very proud of Nancy Savikataaq Lindell, our MP, Lori Lout, and those that I've missed. And a special want to say thank you to Aluki. She's out in the back. Hi, Aluki. Used to be the NTI president, and she posts for Inuit Nunangat University. So today's announcement reflects years of determination and listening, planning, and dreaming. And it's a great honor for us to be standing alongside everyone here. And friends and colleagues, today is a very proud day for Kivalliq. I'm just a memory bank here, and the work that was done by Inuit Cultural Institute by Makusi Kalawak. So it's a shout out to those, Josie Kusugak, who worked there for a long time, that are no longer with us, and their dreams and aspirations are still with us today in our heart. And the likes of David Uwingayak, Maangnavik Roda, Ole Tinnuak, to name a few, that had a vision for their culture to stay in our lives. So I'm very honored to be here. And the decision to locate the main campus of the Inuit Nunangat in Arviat, again, is more than symbolic. It is a recognition of who we are, of the strength of Inuktitut or Inuktitut in our region, of the leadership Arviat has shown in Inuit-centered curriculum development, and of the deep roots of Inuit Kauyamaya Tukangit that guide daily life here. Kivalliq has been a place of innovation, resilience, community leadership. With today's announcement, we take a whole new responsibility to help nurture a world-class post-secondary institution that will serve Inuit for many generations. I want to acknowledge Nunavut Tunggavik's significant investment and continued support for your leadership. I don't know if we can match the $50 million that was given, but we will do our best, and I'll bring this back to my board to see how we can help support this momentous event. That shows when it is possible, when Inuit organizations stand together with a shared vision. Kivalliq Inuit is proud to join this partnership to support the work ahead and to ensure this university reflects the values, aspirations, and identity of our region. For young people, this university represents opportunity that we never had. The opportunity to pursue higher education while staying close to home and family, to language and to culture. It represents the opportunity to build careers in fields grounded in Inuit knowledge and Inuit kawimayatokangit. Also, while opening doors to new pathways across Canada and the world. For our communities, this will bring long-term economic growth and housing development, meaningful employment, and a new space for learning and collaboration. Most importantly, it brings hope. Hope that our children and grandchildren will thrive with every tool they need rooted in who they are as Inuit. Our partners in government and governments, thank you for recognizing the importance of Inuit-led education and for your continued support as we take this next step together. To the community of Arviat and to the hamlet of Arviat, congratulations. Savikataaq Jr., I'm going to do a special shout out. My little sister-in-law over there, very proud too, for Arviat, Nancy, John, all from Arviat. I'm from Arviat. And your continued leadership and your dedication made this moment very possible. The entire region stands behind you with pride. Today we celebrate, we work to continue the work together to build an institution that reflects the strength and spirit of Inuit across the Kivalliq and Inuit Nunangat. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd now like to invite Mayor of Arviat, Joe Savikataaq Jr. up.
Thank you everyone for being here. Welcome everyone. Kanatami Inuit Nunangat to Tunngavik to Hagakache Yamub Lumituhati Yuta. Everyone watching across the country in Inuit Nunangat, we're very happy today on the great announcement that we heard that Arviat will be the home of the Inuit Nunangat University. That is very good news. Also, I'd like to say thank you for recognizing our daughter, Kaden. Sorry about that, at the opening. And we really appreciate that our Kaden na panikpo. Ihumagayo matna. Inuit in Arviat are very happy that we will now have a university of our own on Inuit Nunangat, which we can showcase our culture, our language, and our traditions, everything. It's very strong in Arviat still. Inuktitut is the street language in Arviat. We are glad that when people start coming to Arviat that they'll learn the language. And it's not a shame if you do not understand or speak Inuktitut, you will learn it. Arviat is a very good place for that. We are prepared for that. Hamlet Council and the people of Arviat will do anything possible to make sure we assist, to make sure the doors open in 2030 for the university. But I'm very humbled to be here to represent Arviat at the stage, at this place, and at this announcement. In closing, I'd like to say that we will have a university now, so to the parents and grandparents that are watching, send your kids to school and so that they could attend the university. And to the education system, that please be prepared for an influx of the attendance going up. This university will really boost many things that we are not aware of right now. Kuya na kuni taman na atwa na kaloy na tao tung itaptin ilong ni huli hilin na kaya to ami hungaw pala na wiligaka ang wenulo hilin na wigyo atem na Inuit Nunangat ni hel na ukwer pa lumatwe kemana pa ukwangi tayo mo yung mga kuya na uma kunitam na ublo ukwer pa ukwangi Tunngavik ti yung mga tuwa nga mi utaw yutigot. And one final thing, Natan, if you could come, just want to quickly say something and thank Natan. Natan, una. I just want to say that you're leading the Inuit, and I thank you for that. There are some societies who have been paying taxes, collecting interest for millennia. Inuit were hunter-gatherers and nomadic just a few generations ago, and now you are leading us into this new age with the university. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That concludes the formal remarks of this event. So I'd like to thank our speakers and to invite guests to enjoy our reception. And if there are questions from media afterwards, I welcome that in just a moment as we conclude. Thank you very much. Questions from media? Yes, question.
Hi, I'm Neha from the Inuit News. I just had a question about if there's any housing or infrastructure challenges through the process of building in Arviat. How will Arviat be best capable to deal with those?
In Arviat's proposal, there were specific blocks of land that have already been identified for the main campus and construction. We will have years, I suppose, of building plans and ensuring that we have not only the financial resources, but also the municipal considerations. We hope that we can work together through that process. We don't have it all sorted out today, but we have a strong partnership from the very start. We also have a letter of support from Premier Maine. So we know that from the government of Nunavut level, from the Inuit Tapiriit Kanatami level, and also from the hamlet of Arviat, that we're all going to work together to ensure that any challenges in building the main campus are going to be worked on together.
Thank you.
Hi, President Obed. Just following up on our interview yesterday about the funding, the federal funding for this university. A federal source, government source, got in touch with us afterwards when we inquired about the $50 million that the Prime Minister promised you for the university, and they said that up to $50 million may be made available after the university funding proposal is completed and submitted. What is your reaction to that, and what's your understanding of what the next steps have to be to secure that funding?
Yeah. In our pre-budget submission, we put forward as Inuit Tapiriit Kanatami $50 million for the support of the construction of the main campus. In budget 2025, Inuit Nunangat University was mentioned, but not an explicit dollar figure associated with it, and also in a particular funding pot that is novel, that's new. The Prime Minister had told me that $50 million would be allocated to the Inuit Nunangat University, and also had said that when we announced the main campus, that is the logical timeline for the Government of Canada to announce its support. We see tens of billions of dollars being announced around defense spending. We understand that there are parliamentary processes, there are considerations within new programs and governments, but This is a priority, and it's one that also the Government of Canada has said from the Prime Minister down is a priority for this government. So we hope that the caveats and the qualifiers will be removed, and we'll have a very clear sense of the funding envelope from the federal government soon. I'm not sure what else we can say other than we're ready to engage with the Government of Canada and comply with any of their terms and conditions on the release of those funds. But we have not, in our estimation, missed any deadlines or are lacking in any of the way that we have presented to the Government of Canada on this request.
And do you have any indication of when the federal government intends to introduce a bill for the university?
We have also, within our pre-budget submission and within our lobbying, requested that the Government of Canada consider federal legislation to enable this university to be, I guess, formed. It is going to be a multi-jurisdictional university, and we feel it would be best suited with federal legislation rather than going through each province and territory in which Inuit live. We do not have confirmation that the Government of Canada is in support of our request. We do hope that working through the Inuit Crown Partnership Committee and also working with our counterparts, Minister Chartrand, Minister Alty, and Minister Goldmasty, along with the Prime Minister's office, that we can get certainty on whether or not the federal government will consider enabling legislation. And then if they will not, a clear understanding from us that we have to go in a different direction. This is a nation-building exercise, and we do hope that the federal government will see it this way.
Other questions?
Could you give a little more information about the knowledge centers and then when they may open, how many student capacity, and how they'll be funded?
From the beginning of this process, we wanted to be inclusive of all Inuit Nunangat regions in this initiative. The way to do that was to create a main campus and then also to create knowledge centers in other locations in every other Inuit Nunangat region, and perhaps even knowledge centers within the jurisdiction where the main campus is. We will take the interest that we received through this main campus location search, and we'll use that as the foundation for then the next conversation that we have with Inuit communities around hosting knowledge centers. We will try to use existing capacity in communities to be able to open the doors in 2030 alongside the main campus. We imagine that our first students will come into a hybrid model where perhaps some of the courses will be taught online, and then some courses may be taught in knowledge centers and many in the main campus. That is all coming together, though. It is in our intention that the resources will not just be focused in one particular area of the implementation of the bricks and mortar, if you will, for our campuses, but that we will be inclusive of all regions so as to start with everybody involved rather than a tiered approach where we open Arviat and then go to other communities afterwards.
Should you receive the government funding that you were promised by the Prime Minister, would that be a one-time funding, or would there be an ongoing sort of operational funding going into it?
Yeah. Universities across Canada rely on federal funding from a number of different departments. We have convened through the Inuit Crown Partnership Committee a table that involves, I believe, 12 different federal departments, each of which can provide either resources, knowledge, or explicit funding. This won't only be in relation to, say, Crown Indigenous Relations or Indigenous Services. We imagine that we will be able to apply for and receive funding in many of the same ways that any other university in this country does. Starting from scratch, though, it is always hard to get a foothold. And so we hope that part of the goodwill of the federal government is to consider our unique scenario in this case and to meet it with time and money.
Ich habe auch eine Korrespondent von newspapers in Germany. I'm very interested project, and I'm wondering first, I assume that this university will not only be for Inuit, but for the general population. And do you have any ideas or goal how many non-Inuit might be there? And the second question is for you and Mayor of Arviat. Could you elaborate a little bit on why you choose Arviat? Also, knowing that, for example, in Iqaluit you have a pretty modern Arctic college.
Yeah, thank you. Well, in relation to the location of the university, there was a large list of criteria that our independent evaluators use to be able to rank or score each community. The preparedness for the community to host the university was one of the first on the list. Many of our communities don't have the ability to imagine the footprint, the physical footprint of the university that would go into their aviation infrastructure, water and sewer, or even land management. That, from our 51 communities, that narrows it down. We wanted to ensure that the community that's hosting the university wanted to be a partner, and that is also a challenge of many communities where there just are many competing priorities and many challenges just for the basic functionality of our communities. So those are two pieces that are foundational in the consideration. Then we get into the culture and language and the educational footprint of the communities. And as has been mentioned, Arviat has a long history of education excellence, and also in considering pedagogy and the way in which education is administered and implemented across the jurisdiction of Nunavut, and also the Inuit Cultural Institute as well in their history of maintaining and upholding Inuit culture. Almost all of our communities have that same foundation of Inuit culture. Some of our communities are lacking in fluency in language. Some of our communities are much smaller than others. So Arviat was also a larger community in the Inuit community sense. And so this initiative could live in harmony with the community in a better way than perhaps it could in a community of 500 people. I apologize, what was the first question again?
The question was about non-Inuit students.
Yes, yes. From Inuit leadership and from all of our working groups and committees, the central principle of this university is that it is going to be an Inuit-led university, so the governance of the university will be Inuit-controlled. The opportunities for students to come and to learn in Inuit Nunangat University are not ethnic-based. Students, this is a particular type of learning opportunity for a particular type of student. We are not also wanting to compete with four-year universities who have service agreements with our jurisdictions around, say, the Bachelor of Education degrees, or law degrees, or nursing degrees. We want to make sure that this university fits a particular opportunity for a particular type of student. And many of those students, I would imagine, will be Inuit, but it will not be an ethnic-based competition for enrollment in the university. And we welcome a campus and a population that wants to learn in this Inuit environment and wants to bring that knowledge into the rest of the world. And that, I think, is universal. Taima? Nakamik, everyone. Thank you so much.